Hi, welcome to this week's podcast of Homeschool Connections. I'm your friendly host, James Lees, teacher assistant at Hartsville Middle School. So, in today's episode, we're going to discuss culturally responsive teaching, how we as educators can better support multilingual learners in the classroom, and how we can create some strong home and classroom connections. It's important for us to really understand what cultural competence is and how it shapes our role in the instruction. So if we can establish that culture shapes how students process information, interact with others in the classroom, and how they express themselves, then that's the key to understanding and supporting all students, regardless of where they're from. So we need to understand that multilingual learners, especially, bring some diverse values and beliefs, and we must be able to modify and tailor our instruction to respect and enhance their cultural experiences while promoting their learning. Doing this helps create some strong relationships between the teachers and students, and it just creates an atmosphere of trust and respect. When we demonstrate that we're interested in their culture, it it encourages them to have some higher engagement and to participate more actively in the whole process, which is going to hopefully enhance their language acquisition of English and their academic success. So when we do a culturally responsive approach, we want to integrate their values into this process using examples from their culture and some visual aids, some different resources, and some collaborative experiences with other learners where they can with when where they can thrive. Pardon me. Um, and to really do this, we have to be intentional. Some strategies that we can do is encouraging them to share their cultural traditions with the class and create some peer learning activities where students can teach each other about their backgrounds. This will also foster some empathy and acceptance and tolerance in the classroom. Um, eh, by leveraging their home language and what they bring with them into the classroom and the assets that they bring, um, that helps them develop some confidence uh, and some trust in us that we value them as learners. In my elective class, we do a project on leaders, and last semester, um, one of my Spanish um, one of my Spanish speaking students, the leader that they chose was the soccer star Pele, um, which I thought was an awesome choice. And he did a kind of a um, bilingual slide presentation that was wonderful. So when it comes to supporting their needs, we've got to be responsive to the challenges that they have. We need to be able to provide differentiated instruction for their different levels of proficiency, still keeping in mind any accommodations with students that have special needs, and especially using some scaffolding and some prior knowledge of what they bring into our classroom. Um, as far as SEL needs of multilingual learning, um, making sure that they understand all the procedures in the classroom, uh, uh, not allowing for any animosity or bullying, and just being especially mindful of the challenges that they might face as they come into a totally different language and culture, and making them feel welcome. I have a Taiwanese student now, in my new semester class, whose English is very limited, um, but Mrs. Culpepper, our multilingual program specialist, and I are working together closely on bringing him some resources that he needs. And while I'm translating some things for him, I'm also just kind of leveling out some text and keeping it in English so that he can come up to speed. One thing that is important is to partner with families to enhance the learning at home, to build strong family partnerships. It's critical that we communicate regularly with families, preferably in their native language when possible. And then something else that's strong that I got from the text is to invite them to come into the classroom to share their knowledge and their traditions, um, and making sure that they're an active partner. Giving them a questionnaire was uh, another bit of knowledge that I gained from the understood resource in this week's text in my class, and I thought that was a really good strategy to learn because or to use because that shows the family that you want to know, that you're interested in knowing. Another strategy that I got from the textbook was to have literacy night. Something similar, kind of a cross core thing we did last semester was we did a math night that was sponsored by a local bank. Talked about economic literacy and savings and how to budget. And one of the activities was grocery shopping. You had to grocery shop using a grocery flyer. Well, the bank had a Spanish speaking representative to assist with multilingual learners. And this detail, I thought, showed parents that we're serious and intentional about our intent to promote and inclusivity and create a welcoming space. So, finally, culturally responsive teaching, it's critical for fostering a inclusive classroom where multilingual learners can grow and thrive. And if we embrace this as educators uh, by modifying our teaching practices and building some strong school family partnerships where everybody feels valued, um, I think it's a win-win situation. And you know, with the current landscape in our country, I think it's important for multilingual learners to feel safe. And that's all I'm going to say about that topic. I'm going to keep my other views for my other podcast. But thanks so much for watching, and we hope to see you back next week where we'll talk about another concept of home and classroom connections. And again, this is James. Please come back and see us. Bye.